What was that? Can you hear me?
That sounded like an IED, that.
Mate, I've lost comms.
That's what worries me about this godforsaken country. You just step out your truck and up you go.
Scary, innit?
I always feel apprehensive. I think if you're not apprehensive, there's something wrong.
The thing the Taliban will probably never get into their heads is the British Army don't give up.
Thousands of miles away, there's a band of warriors living completely different lives from the rest of us. Their courage is immense. Their experience extraordinary. Their job is to drive hundreds of miles fighting their way across the harsh Afghanistan terrain and deliver supplies to our frontline troops.
Anything you can think that we can move on the back of these vehicles, we'll move them like.
These are the road warriors. This week they smash through into the world's deadliest deserts.
I can't breathe, I can't see, my eyes are all clogged up with the dust.
Take on suspected suicide bombers.
Mate, bang one up, mate. He's getting closer and closer.
And roadside bombs.
Contact explosive, wait hold.
These supply runs are always punishing. Last week, the Taliban took on the road warriors.
Get that Charlie
And lost. It's one of the toughest jobs on the planet. And this is where the journey begins for the road warriors. South Afghanistan, Helmand Province, Camp Bastion. It's home to 26-year-old Lance Corporal Lisa West, who's checking her load before embarking on the next supply run.
If anyone has an oil leak, we've got all the spare lubes, got the spare kit, got spare water, spare rations, so we're quite important really.
The road warriors will also be taking 40 tons of food, 45 tons of water, and 50 tons of ammunition. The forthcoming op isn't Lisa's only concern. Her fiancé Carl is also on the patrol.
I always know where she is, so I've got a close eye on her somewhere.
Carl and Lisa have been together for over 2.5 years and are due to be married later this year. It's midnight in Camp Bastion. Today's destination is a frontline base known as Edinburgh, only 80 kilometers away. The man in charge of this Combat Logistic Patrol, or CLP, is Major Al McIntyre.
We've got probably about 85 vehicles in this patrol, so it's a pretty long one, and just shy of 200 people. We've got to get the stores up there to allow them to sustain the current tempo of operations, because there's a reasonable amount of Taliban activity up there.
But the Taliban isn't the only enemy. To get there, they must cross the Western Desert, a harsh, unforgiving alien terrain. Al's second-in-command is his Sergeant Major, Mark Larry Lumsden.
It's all desert really. You've still got the threat of IEDs. IED threats is fucking prevalent all over this country.
The Taliban are notoriously invisible. Their weapon of choice is the sleeping enemy, the IED, or improvised explosive device.
Because it's such a wide, expansive desert, we've got a lot of room to choose from. So we need to be unlucky, to say the least, if we hit anything.
This treacherous ground is the ideal place to plant IEDs, and finding them is extremely difficult, so we'll push these soldiers to the absolute limit.
One of my key concerns is just really the coordination of this sort of long desert snake trucking up 80 kilometers. It'll be quite hard going on the drivers. Probably looking at this will take anything from about 14 to 18 hours to complete.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and finally the 200-strong patrol are ready to embark on one of the most grueling journeys they will ever encounter.
Yeah, is that as good to go now? Over.
Right, we're off.
Scotty. Let's go. See you later, Jim.
With 85 vehicles in total, it takes over an hour just to get out of Bastion. And by travelling under the cover of darkness, it makes targeting the Combat Logistic Patrol, or CLP, more difficult for the Taliban.
People think that the CLPs are easy. They're far from the truth.
Having been in the army for over 20 years, Sergeant James Shotty Shotbolt knows the grim reality of what the next 3 days will bring.
It destroys you mentally, physically, the heat, the work, the sleep deprivation, everything on it just destroys you.
With some of the cruelest terrain and Taliban activity ahead of them, it's going to be a long, grueling mission for the road warriors.
Well, this is us now. We're off on another one of our little jaunts. We take everything. We take engineer stores, ammunition, water, rations, vehicles, spares. You know, it's literally all the equipment that the battle group needs.
Without these supplies reaching the front line, the fight against the enemy couldn't be sustained.
It's 2:30 in the morning, and it's really hot already. And I've been working in an aircon tent for the last, 5 days. So it's taken its toll on me a bit.
My call sign now approaching Highway 1, Delta 1, Delta 9 and Delta 17, acknowledge over.
Before they hit the desert, the patrol has to drive down the longest tarmac road in Afghanistan.
We're now on Highway 1, quite a bit of speed we got here. A crappy 35 miles an hour, but that's fast for us. So I better make the most of it, because as soon as we hit the desert, we'll probably be doing like 10 miles an hour.
Although Highway 1 is a smooth ride, it presents its own dangers.
Our biggest threat on the Highway 1 now, I reckon, is culverts and like drainages and stuff like that, because they can plant IEDs in there and we're not even going to know.
The culvert is a drainage system that runs under the road, making it ideal to conceal IEDs. But it's not only buried bombs that hound them. Suicide bombers could also be waiting.
Like in the UK, the truck drivers will pull over and get their heads down, but you know, you've got to think, is it a suicide bomber?
The road warriors have only been travelling for 2 hours and they've already hit their first hurdle.
We've travelled about 10 k's and we've got one of the CSTs, one of the tankers, is broken down. So we're having to hitch that up and we're going to have to tow it all the way to Fob Edinburgh now, by the looks of it. So we're just waiting on confirmation that that's been done. While in the meantime, up ahead, the Force Protection are carrying out the op armour to get us a safe lane so that we can transit through this route.
Op armour is when special metal detectors are used to identify explosive devices buried in the ground.
It's 3:30 in the morning. And we're only a few k's from Bastion. Got something like 77 k's to go.
It's a painstaking but essential process in the world's most mined country, but leaves the patrol wide open to a Taliban attack.
It really, really worries me because we're just sat here in a truck and there could be an IED sat there. You know, and you're just never going to know about it until you drive over it, like.
Once the convoy turns north off Highway 1 into the desert, the watching Taliban will know they're heading to the Edinburgh base. All they need to do is lie in wait. It's now almost 5 in the morning, and the Combat Logistic Patrol has been on the road for 4 hours. Having stopped to check for roadside bombs, the trucks are moving again, But they're now in the vast expanse of the Afghan Western Desert, and with one vehicle already on tow, they are falling behind schedule.
We need to get up there as soon as possible. It's a long old drive anyway, and if we get caught down here, bear in mind that we've only done about 15 or 20 k's, it means that we start hitting the bad areas, the dangerous areas, and the shitty soft sand areas towards the evening, and try and achieve Edinburgh by daylight.
This is not going to be straightforward. The only route to the Edinburgh base is through a system of wadis, an ideal place to hide Taliban bombs.
A wadi's a dry riverbed, so as you can appreciate with any other river, as soon as it's dried up, it's still soft underneath the wheels, but it's also got steep banks on either side. So once a few of the trucks have been up it, because they're such heavy vehicles and they've got the loads on, they just churn it up.
Oh, he's proper stuck him, isn't he? The idea is to get to the wadi and just put your foot down so you just plough straight up it.
This truck has fallen victim to the notorious soft sand.
I reckon we're gonna get stung. Oh.
It's not only the terrain that's problematic.
Go to your left now.
Yeah. I'll see a thing.
Lisa's got to control this massive 32-ton truck, the equivalent of 2 packed double-decker buses.
It always feels like he's gonna tip this truck. You all right, mate?
Yeah.
No, not so bad.
When vehicles do get stuck, Shotty and his team of recovery mechanics, or Rekimex as they're known, come into their own.
I love being a wreck because we are the unsung heroes, always dirty, always doing our own thing really on CLPs, but everybody needs us. Without Rekimex, a CLP won't go, tanks don't go into war, and that's why I enjoy being a Rekimex. Love it. Every job's different.
The desert sand is so unpredictable, it's very easy for the trucks to lose control.
Roman 34 Alpha, inform all Delta call signs that the rear of the CLP is conducting a halt recovery task. Over.
It's not uncommon to have Afghan vehicles accompanying the convoy. And this time it's one of their vehicles that's run into trouble.
Unfortunately, one of the civilian vehicles, what's referred to in Afghanistan, a jingly vehicle, has turned over and lost its load. We're just getting some of the AMP call signs to go back to cross-load over the load onto the back of their vehicles, and we'll just continue with the patrol.
Right, Nike, I'm going to put a det in there for you.
Yeah.
A det in there, a det in the P4 and the fuel.
Yeah.
Initiate from there.
With the truck unrecoverable, there's only one course of action. It has to be destroyed. This is known as vehicle denied, which ensures the Taliban cannot benefit from any of its parts.
Right. Ready to go?
The area around the truck is cleared and secured.
Got 6 sticks of plastic explosive. As I haven't complete bar mine, we'll have to go back and make sure all the DEMs and things have been used. Otherwise, the nasty buggers will get in and use them after us. Beautiful! It's gone! Vehicle denied. The tyres are burning, engine was destroyed, gearbox was destroyed, chassis cut in half. It was beautiful.
The rear of the patrol is now on the move, but the convoy is having problems at the front.
Right, there's a shitload of bog ends back there. One of the trucks is knackered, so what we're going to have to do is he's just reversed another truck up. He'll just stick it on tow and we'll just tow it all the way to fucking Edinburgh. This terrain, it's just a nightmare to get through. That'll be it fucking on then.
The road warriors are already behind schedule. They can't afford any more delays.
That's fucked. Yours is fucked as well. And this one's fucked it up.
Yeah, he just said this was going to tow it, but he's just seen it now and said no. I'm taking a bite on 15, 20 stuff.
Right.
Major McIntyre is given the bad news.
Because that one was towing it. That's clearly fucked. So they've put that on the back of the 15-tonner. We'll drive that until that becomes fucking undrivable now, and then we'll hitch it onto the back of another wagon. But apart from that, everything's fucking fine and dandy. Keep going! Ten to 7. We're probably about 15 k's short of where we should be at the moment. So we've got to push quite hard to get us back on track before it gets dark. We don't want to be stuck out in the desert on the way up to Edinburgh, because that's where the bad men live.
Now 4 hours behind schedule, the convoy is finally pushing forward. But with 85 vehicles spanning over 6 miles, they're attracting potential danger.
A few times they think he's chasing us.
Right.
Basically, they will be a dick on the left.
There's a vehicle over there. Remember I told you I heard shots? There's a vehicle over there. When he was fixing his vehicle back there, he shot at him. So he returned fire and he pissed off. But now he's tracking us just over the ridgeline. All Delta call signs, this is Roman 34 Alpha. Be aware that just beyond the ridge on the left-hand side, there is a vehicle which has been tracking us and has dicked us.
The people in these suspicious vehicles could be Taliban spies, known as dickers. They're a massive threat to the combat logistic patrol.
Yeah, that's what the dickers do. They sit maybe a K or 2 Ks away from the CLP. They radio or phone ahead to their mates, let them know that we're coming, make sure that we're on the same track that they expect us to come on. And that gives their mates up ahead some chance to go and lay some shit in the ground.
Yeah, we're coming up that bit with the mountain and the compounds.
We're gonna drive towards the mountains and we're gonna have the compounds quite close to us, which is like a vulnerable area. And we just got told on the orders that this is a high threat area that we're going through now.
This is the bit where we're going to get channeled. You've got the Q-Bar feature, which you can see sticking right up there. Unfortunately, as we go down to the right-hand side of it, there's a load of compounds and it starts getting a little bit more populated. Well, the people up here don't really like us and they don't want us here, and that can be their opportunity to throw some shit at us.
It's a well-known Taliban attack point, and there's no room for error. As this is the only route they can take, they call for backup. And what arrives is what the Taliban fear most.
There he comes there, look. He's come from south to north, right over the patrol.
The Apache helicopter is equipped with state-of-the-art weaponry, including mounted guns, rockets, and precision targeting.
We've now got a B-1 bomber and attack helicopters on standby in case the shit hits the fan.
When they're about, you feel safe because the Taliban don't like to mess when they're around.
You don't hear him coming to start with, and he just appears, and he's got such weaponry, such firepower. Nobody gets away from him if the target's on him.
Good to see the ugly call signs, the Apache helicopter brothers is providing us with a deterrence force as well, which also gives the soldiers a bit of confidence as well.
Well, I don't want to jinx it, so touch wood. Yeah, it's going awesome at the moment.
But unfortunately, it doesn't last for long.
Probably about 300 metres to my front, one of the call signs has found a pressure plate IED. So what we're trying to do at the moment is get some demolitions and then do a controlled explosion in situ to allow us to continue with the route. So we're pretty much fixed at the moment, which is, again, is a bit of a concern.
Because we found these ones now, and we're waiting here dealing with it, they've now got time to go and lay another one further up the road.
It's routine practice for the Taliban to plant secondary bombs to ensure maximum casualties. And until this bomb is dealt with, the convoy is static again, leaving them wide open to an attack. combat logistic patrol is waiting deep in extreme enemy territory after an IED was found at the front of the convoy.
And you train, but here you're doing it for real. You know, there's a real threat out there, there's real enemy, real bombs, real mortars. And it adds just to the excitement, but it just makes you think.
It takes valuable time to deal with IEDs, so the convoy is stationary. They're surrounded by compounds. These basic buildings could be housing the Taliban.
Rob?
Yeah?
Have a look to your left, right? There's 2 grass mounds.
Yeah?
There's someone moving about at the bottom left of that building, mate.
Yeah, I see it.
What is he doing? Is he kneeling down? Is he in a fire position?
He's sitting right against the edge of the building at the corner.
Has he got a weapon?
He's just sitting there. I'll keep eyes on him.
Oh, so fucking close as well.
There is no way of knowing whether the shadowy figure is a serious threat, so they have to keep a close watch on his every move. The potential danger increases every moment the convoy is static.
We need to get moving. We can't be sat fixed here in the middle of all these compounds. It's not a good place to be.
And they've received worrying intelligence.
Basically, the insurgent forces saying they know we're coming and, you know, get ready sort of thing.
But the convoy is still static, waiting for the team of experts to deal with the found IED. Any IED has the potential to destroy a truck and its crew.
All call signs, this is Roman 3-4 Alpha. That was the detonation of the pre-seen IED, over.
Well, about 5 minutes ago, we got told, right, you know, keep observing your arcs, make sure you're awake. So obviously we've been sat here, not chilling, but waiting to see what's going on. And then all of a sudden, we've just heard this whole mighty explosion. And we all shit ourselves. But then it came over the net saying that it was the pre-seen IED and they've just detonated it. So thanks for telling us, because we all just shit ourselves. Whew. Hey, do you know, that was a big explosion. Like, can you imagine if one of the trucks had gone over that?
Brief update, we're about 6-7 k's away from Edinburgh, and we've done about 2-3 k's in the last 4 hours, so the bodies, the IEDs are found, so everybody's getting really tired now. All we want to do is take the body army off and have a rest.
Now 3 hours behind schedule, it's a race against time for the road warriors to reach Edinburgh before dark.
We've been quite busy today. This route's just proven that it's still pretty high risk.
We can't be sure that they haven't laid any more, so we just take it nice and slow, make sure that the guys are following each other's tracks and get them up and through the other side as safe as possible. We're about 7 k's from Edinburgh.
The dangers are playing on Lisa's mind. She's worried for her fiancé Carl, who's on the same mission.
It's not as if I can protect him or anything, but I like to know where he is and what he's up to. That's what people don't understand, because they all think, yeah, it's brilliant because we see each other every day, but they have not got the slightest clue what it's like to be out on the ground together, having to worry about each other.
The soldiers are exhausted. At times like these, their thoughts turn to their families.
I don't tell my wife, I don't tell my kids, because all I do is worry. My baby boy, he's only 2, you know, he doesn't know I'm here. Listen, he won't recognise me when I get back, which is hard, but it's just one of those things that obviously he's not seen me for the last 5 months, has he? Love it. Love the kids.
I just feel dirty. I just want to have a wash. I've been awake for 25 hours now. I'm hungry. And I just really want to get back, I just want to get to Edinburgh safe so we can all unwind.
We found another one.
Are they detonating that?
I'm not sure.
Where is it?
Apparently the omelette team were talking to a little chuggy kid, and the kid said that the Taliban's still here, and they're just a bit further up the back. He says they came in and started laying loads of IEDs.
Oh my God.
Be careful when you get down there to fucking...
Alright.
The worst bit.
Alright. Cheers. 8:15, and they happen to found another IED. There's been a bomber lane set up for us down this hill.
Using specialist metal detectors, the soldiers secure a safe lane around the IED. Their second find in almost 3 hours. Although they're only 6 miles from FOB Edinburgh, it's still a long way to go.
What was that? Stop! Stop! Give him a stop, stop, stop!
All call signs, this is Whiskey 5, contact explosion, wait hold.
Can you hear me?
The explosion was just yards in front of Lisa's truck.
Have you said stop, stop, stop?
I did.
Mate, just quickly see if that fucking radio's on, because I've lost comms.
That's what that fucking bang was over there, look!
Just pass me the radio, please. Room 2 for Alpha, there was a bang there, and no vehicles involved in any incident back there. Over.
At the front of the convoy, Major McIntyre is unclear about what's happened.
That sounded like an IED, that. Just one bang.
Hello, stations, this is Roman 3 for Alpha. Stop, stop, stop.
Hey lads, you alright?
Yeah.
Which wagon is it?
It's this one over here. Start at 28.
Put your lights on.
Put the lights on.
Put my lights on. I'm just looking to see if there's any compounds of my NVDs, just in case there's like a follow-up.
Room 3 for Alpha, we've heard nothing yet. Still waiting to hear. Over.
Yeah, there's been an explosion on it. That is about 400 metres to the rear of the CLT, or before the body.
Oh, you're not joking.
Room 3 for Alpha, Roger to hello 3 for Charlie.
This is 3 for Alpha. Yeah, appears to be some sort of IDF or something to the rear of the patrol.
I just drove past Cal. He's going to be pulling his hair out now because I've just passed him.
Can you relay to Titanium call sign? We just need some further assistance. We've had an IED strike on Delta 28. Delta 28.
Whiskey 5, I'm involved there. No casualties, they're all okay. What the shit, you know. I'm going to bomb away with this vehicle now, just check anyway. Over.
See, I can't emphasise it enough that there's no casualties. You know, hitting an IED and not having any injuries is quite an unusual occurrence. So we're very lucky, and we'll wait and see, make sure that these boys are all right, because no doubt they'll be shook up.
Lisa's fiancé Carl reaches her to see if she's okay. The shock of what's happened hits home.
No.
You okay?
I've been worrying about you.
Don't worry about me, babe. Okay. Alright?
You're not going in front of us, are you?
No, the Mastiff's going, leading us out.
But I want you to go behind me.
Babe, don't worry.
No, I can't fucking cope watching you, babe.
Alright, they're safe now.
That could have been fucking us, like. I can't fucking cope. I can't cope. Worrying about you all the time. And I can't have you driving in front of me.
It was you. Right, we're going. Alright, you have to go, alright? See you in a bit. Don't worry, okay?
I just got like visions of him being in front of me and him going over a mine like.
far as we're aware so far, it's blown one of the wheels off and the wheel station. So we've got a mechanic and a recovery vehicle going back to check it out. We've got the ugly call sign in the air. He's providing overwatch because these little bastards might come out now and just think it's all Christmases at once. Start fucking throwing whatever else they've got at us.
We're going forward now to the ID vehicle to recover that.
There is no casualties. Everybody seems to be fine. However, I've got the medics looking at the passengers. We're going to make an assessment of us so far. Over.
We're going to assess the passenger notes.
Roman 3 fire consent, over.
Just on the other side.
What worries me is we're stood 6 feet away from an IED strike, which could have killed two British soldiers, and we're stood 6 feet away from it and not knowing what's around us. And that's what worries me about this fucking godforsaken country. Just step out your truck and up you go.
I think they're quite lucky, to be honest. Very lucky. It's a small one, that.
The medics treat the soldiers who were in the vehicle that drove over the IED. They could have lost a limb or their lives, but this time the truck took the full impact of the blast.
So this is the third IED. We've had 2 fines and 1 strike in the matter of 4 Ks. The thing that the Taliban will probably never get into their heads is the British Army don't give up. Doesn't matter how many IEDs they plant, how many times they attack us, we'll keep going until we get where we need to go. Scary, innit?
With the stricken vehicle now on tow, the road warriors are finally on the home straight.
Right, let's go. Let's go up on the left-hand side and get into Eddie.
Yeah, they've done a good job. They impress me every time. They go out and we expect them to drive for ridiculous amounts of time with very little rest. And they've done it again, so fair play to them, well done.
And at last they arrive at Forward Operating Base Edinburgh.
Well, here we are, some 22 hours later. Slightly longer than what anticipated, but had quite a few incidents en route. Principally being that we always understood was the IED threat was our principal enemy on this particular operation. Really, for the last 15 kilometres, we were pretty much hounded by them, but we're all here safely. No one's hurt, but a lot of tired eyes and a lot of tired heads.
As they prepare to bed down for the night, they all know they face the same grueling journey to get home. But next time they might not be so lucky.
Almost 24 hours ago we left Bastion, shattered, actually drained, physically drained, mentally drained. Just need some sleep and something to eat, really.
With one of the most punishing convoys to date, the road warriors finally arrived at Forward Operating Base Edinburgh to deliver essential supplies. But after 3 IED fines and 1 strike which nearly killed 2 soldiers, the return journey to Camp Bastion was deemed too dangerous. They were delayed for 24 hours while reinforcements arrived to assist them through the most hazardous areas.
The mastiff group that have gone out to clear and secure the area have found their first IED already. They've only been out there fucking 15 minutes.
The soldiers are keen to leave, and with the IED defused, it's time to face the grueling return journey.
Just get going! Come on, let's get them going!
Well, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. I'm about to embark on the journey back to Bastion, 80 Ks. I always feel apprehensive. I think if you're not apprehensive, then there's something wrong, because obviously out there is a real enemy, it's a real war, there's real dangers, and if you're not apprehensive, then I don't think you're doing your job properly.
Their close call with an IED on the way to FOB Edinburgh is playing on Lisa's mind.
Well, I was dreading leaving Eddie. I was really quite worried about it, but now I'm on the move. I'm all right.
We're just probably about 8 to 10 k's southwest of FOB Edinburgh. Making reasonable progress, but dust conditions are pretty atrocious.
Can you even fucking see me? Oh, I fucking love it. See if my missus ever fucking moans about dust on top of the telly again. The most important thing now is that the vehicles stay within that safe lane. If any of the guys are confused or get disorientated by the dust, they need to stop and make sure that they refine the route before they transit through it. So it's going to take a little bit more time than normal, but that's the price you pay for safety.
When you can't see the truck in front, it is scary because you get that thing through your head where you think you're on your own.
Roman 3 for Alpha. Roger, I just want you to pass up to all Delta call signs. They must stay in the tracks. Delta 8 for some reason keeps straying out of the tracks. If he does it again, me and him are going to fall out. Over. We cannot have these drivers straying out of the cleared track. I don't care how bumpy it is. I don't care how uncomfortable it is. They follow exactly the tracks that we cut for them. It's a fucking drops vehicle, not a Superman suit.
The road warriors have now had 4 IED finds and 1 strike on this mission. One slight move off the tracks and they could find another.
I got the butterflies already, like. Here we go, it started. I can't see a bloody thing.
Yeah, stay on these tracks here.
They're in a high threat area, and the Taliban have had 3 days to prepare for the convoy's return journey. Suddenly, something catches Shotty's eye.
What's that guy there? Is he walking through?
Yeah, he's got a wheelbarrow.
Is he stopping or does he keep going?
Yeah, he's pushing something.
There's a local national walking through a warning system with a wheelbarrow, heading towards a convoy. They took out the wrong range of a wheelbarrow.
This is a very real threat. Earlier in the year, British Marines were killed by a suicide bomber with explosives in a wheelbarrow.
We've got force protection now looking at him. The local nationals know to keep the distance and they'll be safe. If we start walking towards the convoy, it could be anything. We have to take it as a threat. So we fire mini flares at them, not at them, but in their direction. If they stop, no dramas. If they keep coming, then that's an even bigger threat. And then young Piers up top will put some rounds down as a warning shot. Mate, bang one up, mate. He's getting closer and closer. He's walked all along that body system there and stopped right there. What's he say?
Hello, Roman 3-4 Charlie, this is Roman 3-4 Alpha.
I can see him, he's on the opposite side of the road.
Yeah, he's sat down now.
Roman 3-4 Alpha,
So he's left his wheelbarrow now and walked away.
Roman 3-4 Alpha, Roger.
The wheelbarrow is dangerously close to the convoy. There is no way of knowing whether it's harmless or a deadly Taliban bomb.
All call signs, this is Roman 3-4 Alpha. Be aware that if anybody approaches the vehicles, keep them at length by using the escalation measures as previously instructed.
This time, it was a false alarm.
Ensure that now all your top covers are using SUSATs to scan their arcs. Over. What we need to do now is make sure that the top covers, as well as having their machine guns, need to have their personal weapons, because you've got a 4 times magnification on a sight, so they can scan the area a bit better.
Larry is right to be cautious. Just in front of the convoy is another hidden roadside bomb.
The massive group have found another IED in the next wadi.
This is the 5th IED the road warriors have encountered. The route has proved to be as deadly as they anticipated.
We're currently static, conducting bomber and IED clearance. Roman 3-4 Alpha out.
Now we're static in a bunch of compounds right by the Shingar feature. obviously the mortar threat is quite high.
Because we've been up there for the last, 3 days, they've had ample opportunity to lay as many IEDs as they want. They've had plenty of time to dig them in, cover them over, make them nice and camouflaged. So this is why it's so slow going at the moment.
With the patrols spread over 6 miles, they're attracting unwanted attention.
Oh, I don't like this. Oh, what's going on over there? Right far in the distance, I've seen a load of flashes, but I don't know whether it was a camera, a reflection, or...
Taliban spies operate throughout the region. The messages they pass on could be fatal to the British troops.
Roman 3 for Alpha, did you get it from Amber 60 that what appeared to be signalling by a mirror and packs moving about on motorcycles over?
This information could give the Taliban an accurate target.
One of the hotel call signs spotted suspicious local nationals on a motorbike and a mobile phone. They've gone behind a compound, they've moved to another compound now.
They're bopping their heads up and down as if they're watching us.
Like a game of cat and mouse, isn't it, the little fuckers?
It's stopped at the moment. Hang on, they're moving again. You just saw, I fired a warning shot. They've now stopped. One of them's got off the bike and sat down.
The local nationals again are just testing us. Pierce fired mini flares at them. They kept coming. It's warning shot, basically to fuck off, get away from the convoy. Every top cover has got that authority to do it, especially where we are now. And if need be, shoot them if need be.
With all this enemy activity, Major McIntyre takes no chances and requests air cover.
How long we got in for, sir?
2 hours.
Lovely jubbly. Fucking lovely jubbly. The terrorist is fucking shit scared of that bad boy of death. When he's up and about, we don't normally get too much incidents or anything else because he can ping them from so far away. Oh yes. You can just imagine him sat in there in his fucking air-conditioned cockpit, sucking up fucking pims as he's flying over the top of us. Hello, chaps!
And it's not just the Apache which keeps Lisa's spirits high.
I know it's crazy, but Carl, and just knowing that when I finish this tour, I'm going home to get married, and that's what keeps me going. But obviously the lads as well, lads and lasses, knowing that we're all doing it together helps. It's good to sit down sometimes and have a laugh about what happened, how close we all were to death or being blown up and that. It's alright to laugh then, but at the time, it's not fucking funny.
After a relentless 4-day patrol through one of the toughest deserts in the world, the road warriors finally make it back to Camp Bastion.
Long journey, a lot of IED finds on the way. Better to find them with the IED team than to find them with any of the trucks. And apparently it was a bit dusty, but I've not looked in the mirror, so I couldn't tell you.
They've covered 100 miles, delivered 135 tons of supplies and found 5 roadside bombs, one of which nearly killed 2 British soldiers.
But I think the soldiers themselves did exceptionally well. Again, just the resilience and the professionalism is outstanding, and that's probably some of the most severe driving conditions that we've been in. But all in all, a successful. But I've just recently heard it's been a pretty bad day for the task force. There's been quite a few casualties. So, the squadron and our hearts go out to the families and the friends there. And, they weren't so lucky. But on this time, we went safely. So it's turn around again in 5 or 6 days' time and back out to support the task force.
Next time on Road Warriors.
We have a suicide bomber. Is it going to fire fight in there? Gav, let's go!
It's suicide bomber's dream, this.